7:37 Nashville's Morning News on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Very quickly to the Newsmaker Hotline. I think Tim Burchett, Congressman Tim Burchett, is with us. And I don't know, are you still in that super duper important meeting talking about Plan C, Congressman?
Yeah, well, the vice president's in there. I was sitting right beside him, actually, and I walked out to talk to y'all. So,
oh, wow.
Answer your questions, and I need to get back to that meeting.
All right, very quickly then, just tell me how it's going.
That's going all right. The deal last night was a 3-month CR. We had no idea how much it cost. It was likely over $1 trillion, and it was a continuation, in my opinion, of the Pelosi-Schumer spending spree. There's $100 billion in there for disaster, a little over 100, but we're not sure how they even came up with that number. And honestly, do you want to give this bunch? You can't trust them with 5 cents. You want to give Schumer Biden $1 trillion before to spend in 30 days. And the last time we gave them any money, of course, it all went to illegals.
All right, so real quick, because I know you don't have a lot of time. How is Plan C different from Plan B? Do we know yet?
Oh, we don't know yet. That's what we're working on.
Tell me the process. You're feeling a lot of pressure. You're only one of 38.
They take you to the woodshed and wear you out and try to wear you down. But it doesn't work. These people up here don't vote for me. The people back in Tennessee do. So I don't have a lot of, I've been doing this most of my life. So I don't really have a lot of worries about that department. I just would like, and my question to the president was, are we going to reduce the deficit or are we going to reduce the budget? And that's what I'm hanging on right now.
And last question, were you surprised that President Trump and Elon Musk, everybody was excited to increase that debt limit?
Yeah, well, it was unlimited actually for 2 years. It was the Plan B actually spent more money than Plan A, if you can imagine that. And a lot of misinformation out, a lot of verbiage. Everybody said, well, it's shorter, it ought to be less money, but it was actually more money in the long run. So it was, to me, that was a no-starter. There wasn't any discussion for me. I just said, no, I'm not going to vote for it. We're not voting for more money. And we're borrowing every dollar of it. We cannot continue down this road. And we've got to hold the line. As Tennesseans, I'll talk about this, and now they're talking about it, individual spending bills. That's what we do in Tennessee. That's what they're doing right. That's what they're discussing right now.
All right. Congressman, thank you. Get in there, fight for those individual spending bills, and I so appreciate you taking the time to joining us on Super Talk 99.7.
Thank you, guys. Pray for our country.
Absolutely. Wow, that's crazy. He didn't have to take my call.
That's crazy that he stepped away from next to J.D. Vance.
He's sitting next to J.D. Vance.
You.
I'm not important at all.
You are important because you're getting the word out to the people of Tennessee, and that's important.
Yeah, that was I was like I was talking to him booking I was just talking straight to him booking this. There was none of his people were in contact. He's like, I got a meeting with the vice president. Like, I didn't realize he said it was at that time. I thought he was I was assuming he was like, 7:00. That's when my vice president is. I can make time. I didn't know it was now.
So I think the news out of that was that Plan B actually cost more in the long run than Plan A. And I thought Plan A was absolutely insane.
Right. So there is a lot going on here.
Oh, yeah.
And Republicans are in for a fight. And Donald Trump and Elon Musk, and Doge, right? This is the dude in charge of Doge, along with Vivek Ramaswamy. And according to Tim Burchett and Andy Ogles, Ogles sent me a text. Let me see what Andy said. Because I asked him why he voted no. And he said, yes, increase the debt ceiling $5 trillion. So that's why and you just heard what.
And that's what President Trump is insisting on.
Right.
So I don't know how they meet those two in the middle.
No, and I don't know. This is going to be tough.
Yeah.
Now they're going to talk about, and Joan, you know how this works. They always talk about how You look at the short term, you look at the long term spending. They try to, they play with the numbers.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
they always try to spin the numbers in one way or another. But if you are a keeper of the Department of Government Efficiency and you've been screaming about all of the spending with the Democrats and all of the government waste and so forth, but now you're calling for an increase in the debt limit and there's no real indication as to exactly what they would do after January 20th. Mm-hmm. It's just, I'm sorry, but I'm not sure if trust us is the right answer.
Well, I know what they're doing. What they're doing is saying that that issue of the debt limit is going to come up again.
Right.
And Treasury will call for the debt limit to be raised. Otherwise, we won't be able to pay our bills. You remember those arguments? They make them all the time.
All the time.
Janet Yellen in that debate. Mm-hmm. Anyway, they're making it so that argument cannot happen on President Trump's watch, at least for the first 2 years, I guess.
It's like they want to get it out of the way.
Yeah.
And
so
they want, and as we were talking earlier about how Trump, he wants some room. They need room,
Mm-hmm.
I think is what they're asking for. And so I can't imagine what it's like to be Tim Burchett or Andy Ogles right now, because you had Trump tweeting out and Elon Musk both tweeting out, success in Washington, we have a deal. Nope, apparently not.
And like he said, he got taken to the woodshed.
I can only imagine.
Yeah.
So anyway, maybe he'll call us back. I know that EJ Host is on after me, and she was actually trying to book him. I don't think she was able to get him, but I was able to get him for a very quick interview. So we'll see if EJ ends up.
It's good to be you, Dan Mandis.
It's really not. KGB, you look like you want to say something.
I'm just surprised. I'm still in shock that he managed to call or managed to make that work.
You know what we should have done? We should have said, hey, do us a favor. Put the phone on speaker.
Yes!
And we want to hear how this all goes.
Yeah.
I
There's
promise
no way.
we won't record
I would end up in a federal prison.
Yeah, that's all sorts of, I could smell the illegal from that.
It's Washington, D.C. It's not a big deal. They do illegal all the time.
Just talking to him, like buying a book, that he's such a quiet guy. All due respect, I was like, is this a good time for you? Like, he didn't say yes or no. He just like, all right, or whatever. Obviously, he was preoccupied, but it's just like, man, that takes some, like, I don't know any other congressperson that would have taken us for that, like, even for a short amount of time. I don't think there's a lot of other people that would have done that.
I don't think so.
I have a lot of respect for him for just taking just 2 minutes.
Listen, here's the thing by Tim Burchett. I want to make sure I say this with some thought. I think he is the most willing to speak to the people of Tennessee. I think he is the most willing to speak to Tennessee. I've been trying to get this. I'm going to start throwing people under the bus. I've been trying to get Mark Green on forever. Andy Ogle's been by and large okay. When he was having the problems with the FBI, he's like under investigation and all that. He went dark, understandably so, because when you're under investigation by the FBI, the last thing you want is to appear on a radio show, and God help you if you say something stupid. So I think Congressman Tim Burchett, John Rose is always great. Scott Desjardins has been also great. But I think if I'm going to hand a game ball to somebody, it's going to be Congressman Tim Burchett.
He deserves it. He does. He really does.
J.D. Vance is to my left, but I'm going to go take a call from some knucklehead in Tennessee.
That's
amazing.
I wish I had more information than that.
Yeah. All right, we got to go. 7:45 WTN. Time to check the roads. 7:46 on WTN. As far as your weather goes, a high of 39, low of 32. Cloudy today and a slight chance of showers. No rain this weekend. Highs around 40 on both days. Joan, didn't you tell me?
Yes.
That the media is reporting that they have a deal or close to a deal? It didn't sound to me like what Tim Burchett was saying.
It did not sound like that. So I'll tell you, here's from Fox News. They said, let's see, they've got a new update there. A source told Fox News Friday the House lawmakers have reached a temporary fix to avoid a government shutdown. The potential deal could keep the government funded. Anna Paula Luna, your girl in the bathing suit, says that
Never gonna let that down.
A vote's going to happen at 10 o'clock this morning.
Okay.
House Speaker Mike Johnson said, we are expecting votes this morning. This morning, because morning starts.
When does morning start, Joan?
Yeah, okay.
It's Friday.
Yeah, it is Friday. And this has been quite a week. So, yeah, I mean, I think he didn't have time to talk. And I felt like Tim Burchett wasn't being completely forthcoming because he doesn't want to spill the beans on something before. He doesn't want to get over his skis.
Yep, that makes a lot of sense. And part of what's going on is, of course, J.D. Vance and the Republicans, a lot of the media, everybody has been, depends on who you ask, like J.D. Vance has been blasting the Democrats.
To shut down the government, even though we had a clean CR, because they didn't want to give the president negotiating leverage during his first term, or during the first year of his new term. And number two, because they would rather shut down the government and fight for global censorship bullshit. They've asked for a shutdown, and I think that's exactly what they're going to do.
38 Republicans voted against it as well.
I mean, they're pointing out 38 Republicans voted against it as well. Yeah, and we just had one of them on the phone. Andy Ogles, same thing. So here's the deal, is that they don't have any room to play. They don't have any room to play within the Republican Party. So here's the deal. We'll have to see if they are able to come up with a deal. Remember, the House has to come up with a deal, and then it's got to go back to the Senate, where the Senate has to then approve it, right? So, I mean, you've got a lot of work left, and we'll have to see ultimately what happens. I love what Senator Tom Cotton had to say last night. He was on Hannity's show, and this is what he said.
What happened tonight is very simple. The overwhelming majority of Republicans voted not just to fund the government at Christmas time, but to deliver badly needed aid to hurricane-ravaged communities in the Southeast and farmers who are struggling. The overwhelming majority of Democrats voted to shut down the government and deny that aid. Why? Because they want to obstruct President Trump's ability in the new year to deliver on our campaign promises the American people want, like securing the border, rebuilding our military, reducing the price you pay for electricity and gas, and cutting your taxes. It's just that simple.
So there is going to be a big fight within the Republican Party. And this is going to be happening for the next 4 years. I mean, I don't know what else to tell you. If you thought that it was going to be a smooth ride, clearly it's not going to be. We'll keep you updated on all things Washington, D.C. coming up. And by the way, before the news, the other big story that we've been talking about today is the fact that Wall Street Journal reporting that there's been a massive cover-up of Joe Biden's dementia literally since day one. Kamala Harris was interviewed by the New York Times. And I'm just going to tell you, when I play you the audio of Kamala Harris lying to the American people, I'm going to tell you that this is audio that really did not age well. I've got that for you. Coming up before the news with Joan Jones. And Joan, what is coming up?
Well, of course, we're going to play back a little bit of that Tim Burchett audio as he gave you that impromptu interview there. Amazing. And tell you what they're talking about now for the next CR. And we'll have that coming up for you. Also, if you're going out to the airport today, going to be a busy one. We'll get you updated here on what the airlines are saying about today, the takeoff day. 7:50 coming up at 8 o'clock here on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Thank you, Joan. Dan Mandis here. Big news from my friends at DT McCall's. If you've been thinking about buying a gun safe, but you've been putting it off, now is your time, because gun safes are sales tax free at DT McCall's. They are the largest Liberty Safe dealer in the state of Tennessee because of that free delivery and free setup from DT McCall's. Other places going to charge you at least $500 for delivery and setup in bigger models, $300 for the smaller models. DT McCall & Sons delivers every safe for free every time, period, and no setup charge either. Find them online, dtmccalls.com. Save big bucks now on your Liberty gun safe when you shop at DT McCall's. 5 locations across Middle Tennessee, Carthage, Cookeville, Lebanon, Lafayette, Franklin, always online, dtmccalls.com.